Kia ora and a very good Friday evening to you, Rotorua. Ahead in tonight's bulletin, the second wave of measles hits the Waikato. Rotorua Māori wardens say they will be doing their usual work during the Rugby World Cup, and Inga Tuigamala inspires young rugby players in Rotorua. Those stories and more in detail ahead tonight. The second wave of measles cases has brought the total number of confirmed cases in the Waikato to 17, following an outbreak in Te Awamutu at the end of the school holidays. Te Awamutu Primary Schools has not held an assembly since the beginning of the term because 25 of the school's 500 pupils were not immunised against the highly infectious virus. So far this year there have been 181 confirmed cases of measles in New Zealand, including 104 in Greater Auckland, with 19 admitted to hospital. Rotorua Dr. Kate Mills says the outbreak in the Auckland and Waikato means an outbreak can be expected in the Bay of Plenty and Lakes area. Dr. Mills says the best advice she has is to make sure your children are immunised.
The best advice at the moment is to make sure your children are immunised. The Ministry of Health is not yet recommending us to begin immunising our children early, although we have done so in the past. But if you are exposed to it, or think you may have been exposed to the measles virus, then you can go in and get the immunisation within 72 hours, and that may be effective in helping protect you from it.
And we'll have more from Dr. Kate Mills later in the program. Māori wardens are in the spotlight after Wellington bars were warned that drunken Māori patrons may be targeted during the World Cup. Under old legislation, which is currently under review, Māori wardens have some far-reaching statutory powers. Māori Warden Association President Gloria Hughes, who is based in Rotorua, says there are no formal agreements in place to act on behalf of agencies or Rugby World Cup organisers. She says locals can be assured the Māori wardens will be doing their usual work.
We are going to just continue, like in Rotorua for instance, our people will be here. We've got a team of 30. We've increased our numbers because of the increase of people that will be in Rotorua. And we'll just carry on our normal weekly duties, and that's East Side, West and Ngongotaha, Rotorua, and just ensuring that the flow of people are looked after, are safe and well in what they're doing and enjoying themselves. And
to other stories, the Travelling Books program was launched last night. The program is a joint project between New Zealand Post and Literacy Aotearoa, which will see free books delivered to Rotorua communities to promote literacy. The books, which will be released throughout New Zealand, include both fiction and non-fiction and are for children to adults. Literacy Aotearoa CEO Bronwyn Yates says both organisations hope that Travelling Books will encourage reading, inspire potential writers and enhance community spirit through the sharing of books. More than 2,500 books are being distributed across New Zealand. And in your Friday night sports news, first 15 rugby players from Rotorua high schools were treated to an inspiring talk from one of rugby's legends. Inga Tuigamala, or Inga the Winger, spoke to the players yesterday at a Rugby World Cup sponsored event at Rotorua Girls High. Inga Tuigamala says it was an honour to come to the heartland and talk rugby.
It's such a privilege and honour to come to the heartland and soul of New Zealand rugby in these little towns like Rotorua, and it's always be able to give an insight on what goes on in the world of these rugby players, and certainly our current All Black as they prepare for the 2011 onslaught of the World Cups.
And still with rugby, the Bay of Plenty Steamers are sure to have huge motivation to bring a fitting climax to the formal celebrations of the Bay of Plenty Rugby Union centennial year. Tomorrow's game against the Hawke's Bay will be attended by many of the former Bay of Plenty players who have brought glory and honour to the blue and gold jersey in the last 100 years. Amanda Miller from Events and Venues says the Union are hoping for a big crowd tomorrow.
Steamers versus Hawke's Bay coming up this Saturday, 5:35 kick-off with the curtain raisers. Time still to be determined. Gates open about 2. Tickets for that are from the Rotorua Convention Centre down on Fenton Street. That's their, as I said, their centennial game. So we're looking for a crowd, a big crowd. Go the Bay because they're top of the table at the moment.
Go the Bay. And Amanda Miller has more later in the show about how the International Stadium is shaping up for the Rugby World Cup. Well, to your weather, Rotorua surrounding areas tonight, the remaining showers should clear. Light winds, a low of 7 degrees. And into the weekend, tomorrow Saturday, weekend number 2 of the Tough Guy and Girl Challenge at Lakes Ranch. Cloudy periods tomorrow. Southeast breezes developing, a high of 13, a low of 7. And through to Sunday, fine weather will continue, freshening southwesterlies, a high of 12 and a low of 5. And your marine forecast, if you're boating over the weekend for Lake Rotorua tomorrow Saturday, southeast winds 10 knots. They'll rise to 15 at night. Waves below half a metre, and cloudy periods will continue. Well, as usual, if you did miss any of tonight's bulletin, you can watch it again by logging on to tvrotorua.co.nz. Click on the View Latest City News link, or to view what is happening in our city, click on the Upcoming Events link. Off to a break, but do stay with us. Coming up, Dr. Kate Mills has some more valuable medical advice. Amanda takes us through what's on in Rotorua, and Crispian Stewart and Amanda Miller update us on progress ahead of the Rugby World Cup right here with the International Stadium.